Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech Time with PK. In today's video, I am going to show you how to connect two private networks on OVH Cloud. Before we get started, let's quickly go through what we are going to do with the help of a simple diagram. First, we need to create two private networks, Test Private Network 1 and Test Private Network 2. Then, we will create a gateway on Private Network 1 to enable internet access for that network. After that, we will connect the second network to the gateway. Next, we will create a private instance on private network 1 and attach a floating IP to the new instance. This will allow us to access the instance from the internet. Then we will create another private instance on private network 2. Finally, we will check the connectivity by testing the connection from private instance 1 to private instance 2. That's it. Now let's head over to the OVH console and start our setup. Click on the Private Networks menu from the left side panel. Currently, we don't have any private networks. Let's create one by clicking Create a Private Network button. Now, I have to select the deployment mode and location for this network. I am selecting deployment mode 1 AC region and location London. After that, I need to enter a name for this network. I am entering Test Private Network 1. Then I have to select the VLAN ID for the network. I'm choosing 2 as the VLAN ID. OVH has already configured the subnet for this network, so I'm going to use it as it is for this setup. Click on the Configure Your Private Network button. This will start creating our private network. As you can see, Test Private Network 1 has been created. Now let's create the second private network. Click on the Add Private Network. I'm choosing the same deployment mode and location as Private Network 1. I will enter Test Private Network 2 as the name. For VLAN ID, I will set it to 3. I'm not changing the subnet configurations. Let's create this network by clicking Configure Your Private Network button. The second private network is now being created. I have already done a detailed video on how to create a private network on my YouTube channel. I will add the link in the description box below. Now, let's refresh this page to check the status of our private networks. Our private networks are ready right now. You can see the VLAN IDs, name, location, CIDR ranges, gateway, finally IP allocation status. Next, we need to create a gateway for Test Private Network 1. I won't cover more details about the OVH Gateway setup in this video. You can check my YouTube channel for more detailed videos on OVH gateways. Let's start creating the gateway. Click on the gateways from the left side panel. Right now, there are no gateways created. Click on the Create a Gateway button. For the deployment mode and location, I am choosing the same configuration as Test Private. I am selecting the size mode. I am not changing the gateway name. I have to select the private network here. I am selecting Test Private Network 1 from the list. Click on the Create a Gateway button to complete the gateway setup. It will take a moment to complete the gateway setup, so let's wait for it to finish. Our gateway is ready now. OVH has assigned a public IP for this gateway. Also, it got private IPs from Test Private Network 1. Next, we need to attach the second private network to this gateway. OVH doesn't allow us to attach multiple private networks directly from the console. Instead, OVH gives us access to OpenStack interface through Horizon. We can manage the resource we have created on OVH public cloud using the Horizon interface. Let's connect to Horizon from the OVH console. Click on the Horizon from the left side panel. The Horizon interface will open in a new tab in my browser. We need to select the region from the drop-down menu. I am selecting UK1 since we have deployed the gateway on London region. Let's configure the gateway now. Expand the network menu from the left side and click on the routers. We can see the gateway here. Click on it. Now we can see the details about our gateway. Let's check the gateway name shown here with the one in the OVH console. As you can see, both names are same. Now, let's attach our second private network with this gateway. Click on the Interfaces tab. The IP address from the first networks are already here since its interfaces are already attached to this gateway. Now, let's click on Add Interface to attach the second network. Click on the Select Subnet and select Test Private Network 2 from the list. Click on the Submit button to attach the network. The interface for the second network is being added. As you can see, the Test Private Network 2 has been attached to this gateway. Let's go to OVH console and check whether these changes are reflected there or not. We are able to see the IP address from the Test Private Network 2 here. We have successfully attached the second private network to the gateway. The private networks and the gateway setup is completed now. Next, it's time to create the private instances. Click on the instances in the left side panel. We don't have any instances created right now. Let's create one by clicking Create an Instance button. This will take us to the instance configuration page. Here, we need to choose the instance model. I am selecting D22 from the Discovery series. Next, we need to choose the deployment mode and the location. I am selecting one AC region and London. Next, I need to choose an image for the private instance. I am selecting Ubuntu 24.04 from the list. Next, select the SSH key for the instance. I am choosing my existing SSH key here. Next, we need to configure the instance. We can add the instance name here. I am entering server private network 1. Next, we need to configure the network. I am selecting private mode, and for the private network, I am selecting test private network 1. I am also attaching a floating IP here. Next, we need to choose the billing. Since this is a test setup, I am choosing hourly billing. Next, click on Create an Instance button to start the creation process. Confirm the creation by clicking OK Continue. This will take a few minutes to complete. As OVH mentions in the confirmation message, do not refresh this page until the creation process is finished. I'm skipping ahead in the video until the instance is created. As you can see, the first instance has been created. It has been assigned a floating IP and a private IP from the test private network 1. Let's create the second private instance. Click on Create Instance. I will configure the second instance the same way as the first one, except for the name and the network settings. For the model, I will choose D22 from the Discovery series. For the location, I will choose London. For the image, I will choose Ubuntu 24.04 and I will select the SSH keys. Next, I need to choose a name for this instance. I will choose name Server Private Network 2. After that, I need to configure the network for this instance. I will select private mode. For the private network, I will select test private network 2. For the billing, I will select hourly billing. After that, we will start the creation by clicking create an instance button. It will take few minutes to complete the creation process, just like the first instance. I will come back once the instance has been created. The second private instance has been created now. As you can see, both instances are ready. The first one has an IP address from the test private network 1, and the second instance has IP address from the test private network 2. Now, let's copy the public IP address of the first instance and SSH into it. Let's switch to the terminal now. I will paste the copied IP address here to SSH into the instance, and I will use the SSH private key to connect. We have successfully connected to the first instance. As you can see, the hostname is server private network 1. Now, let's go back to the OVH console and copy the private IP address of the second instance. Then, I will ping that IP address from the private instance 1 to check the connection. As you can see, the ping is working. That means our private networks are connected. Let's try to SSH into the second instance from the first instance. To do that, I need to copy my SSH private key from my machine to private instance 1. Let's exit from the private instance 1 for now. I'm using scp command to copy the SSH key from my machine to private instance 1. The SSH key has been copied. Now let's SSH back to the private instance 1. I have listed the files on this instance. As you can see, the copied SSH private key is here. Now let's SSH into the second instance using this SSH private key. I will copy the IP address of the second instance from the previous command in the terminal itself. We have successfully connected to private instance 2. Let's check its IP address using the IP command. As you can see, it's assigned from the test private network 2. Now let's check what IP address is being used to access the internet. I will use curl http://bin.org/ip. Let's check this IP address with the gateway's IP. Go back to OVH console and open the gateway details. As you can see, the public IP shown in the gateway details matches the one that written by the HTTP bin. This confirms that everything is working as expected. Now let's remove the second network from the gateway and test if the connection between the networks breaks. First, I will exit from the second instance in the terminal. After that, let's go back to the Horizon interface. From here, select the interface linked to test private network 2. Then, click the delete interface button. This will detach the second network from the gateway. An error is showing up here. Let's ignore it for now. Now, let's go back to the OVH console and refresh the gateway details page. As you can see, the IP addresses from the second network has been removed. Also, the number of connected network is now showing as 1. Now, let's go to the terminal and try pinging the second instance from the first instance. I'm already inside the first instance. Let's run the ping command to the second instance. I will copy the IP address of the second instance from the previous commands. As you can see, the ping is not working, which means the private networks are no longer connected. And that brings us to the end of this demo. We have successfully set up 2 private networks, connected them through a gateway, verified communication between the instances, and confirmed that disconnecting one network breaks that leak. This demonstrates how network isolation and interconnectivity can be managed effectively in OVH Cloud Platform. Thank you for watching, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more DevOps and cloud tutorials.